How does the very first iPad compare to the brand new iPads of today? In this video, we're gonna find out. So, let's get into it. This very first iPad was made all the way back in 2010, compared to this iPad Air 4th generation, which was made last year. And so obviously the new iPads are way more advanced, but we're gonna see just how they compare to the ones of the past. Obviously, you can tell straight away just based on the backs and the design, as well as the front of the design. As you can see on the brand new one, there are no bezels. On the very first iPad, first generation, you had a home button with no fingerprint sensor. You have this massive plastic black band. All of the buttons feel very low quality, but that's obviously compared to the ones of today. Now, at the time of release, this was a revolutionary product. Nobody has ever seen an iPad like this, or a tablet like this for that matter. Nothing was resemblance to this at the time, and so when this came out, this was just a game changer. But now obviously today we all know that there are so many tablets, iPads and all that out there. You can tell right off the bat how new this is. It has the camera, it has this sky blue tint to it. It has the smart connector, which is new obviously. It has absolutely barely any bezels, no home button. It has Touch ID built into the lock button. This is just so much more advanced, but we also have to take into consideration this came out 10 years later after the very first iPad. And so we're just going to compare them spec by spec and stat by stat, design by design, to really see how far Apple has come and how innovative they've been since the first release in 2010 of the first generation iPad. Now, obviously, if we talk about performance, there's going to be a massive performance on this iPad Air 4 compared to the one of the very first iPad. And so this is rocking the A14 brand new super speed bionic chip. Now on the first generation iPad, you're rocking the Apple A4 chip with only 256 megabytes of RAM. Now compared to today's iPads when they have 12 gigs, 6 gigs, 16 gigs, 8 gigs of RAM, 256 megabytes is literally nothing, but at the time that was obviously quite a bit of RAM. And so that just goes to show you how different these are already. As well, as I said, this is rocking the A14 Bionic, while this is rocking the A4 Bionic. So that is 10 years in chip design, chip improvement, and obviously the iPad Air is going to be a much better iPad. Now on the iPad first generation, you could only choose 16, 32, or 64 gigabytes of flash storage memory. And so I have the 64 gigabyte version, as you can see right here. And that was the max you can get. Meanwhile, on the brand new iPads, they start at 64 and they can go all the way up to 1 terabyte on the iPad Pro or 256 gigs on the iPad Air 4th generation. And so that is a massive difference right there. Now the iPad first generation has a resolution of, get this, 1024 by only 768 pixels at 132 pixels per inch. Now obviously at the time that was an amazing quality, but now we have tablets and things that are 4K, 120 hertz. We have all of that, and that's just a crazy improvement. Now, obviously, the iPad first generation barely works. It is very slow when talking about software and the abilities it has to do. It's very slow, doesn't really work. But obviously at the time it did, and over time compared to nowadays it doesn't work at all. Also taking into consideration that this iPad Air 4 won't work in about 10 years as well. Now, when I talk about software, this thing is running iOS 5.11. That is how old it is. That is the last update that it ever got. iOS 5 when now we're on iOS 14. That is just crazy when you think about it. And obviously software has had such a big improvement as all of the new stuff that it's added. As you can see, all the things are updated widgets. You can see the dock bar, all of that. Obviously, software has been improved immensely, not just by Apple's iOS software or iPadOS for that matter, but Samsung's OS, Android for tablets, all of that, all software has improved greatly. Now, when we talk about cameras, obviously they are going to be way better. All right, and so as I said, the iPad Air 4 has a 12 megapixel camera, while this iPad has no camera at all. So yeah, it's very horrible. But obviously the first iPhone didn't have a camera either, and so it's obviously come a long way. Now, I don't want to waste your time on specs. I just wanted to give you guys a comparison between how they fare out from the past to today and all of the new things that it has, as this was such an innovative product, the first generation compared to the brand new ones. And so I just wanted to give you guys a quick comparison and tell you guys how they fare out compared to today. Now, obviously, in conclusion, at the time, these were amazing. These were the best things out there. But now we have these, which are immensely greater than the old ones. But of today, they are amazing. And in the future, alright, so let me know down in the comments below whether or not you guys have a first generation iPad or you guys have a brand new iPad, and let me know how you guys think it fares out compared to the new ones. There will be ones that are immensely greater than this. And so that's my comparison. You can see how they fared out, how they are different. And so thank you for watching. Please do go out and have a great day, and we shall see you in the next one.